this is a great jump start to talk about jury versus televote, because we were talking about Finland, and Finland, the people are very passionate even today about the would be win of Kaja. So Fabio querido, do you want to give a bit of context in
Yeah. So
the
we're
discussion?
talking a lot about Eurovision since February, and since then I mean, not since then, but for most of the season, we're all saying that Lorin was going to win the jury and Karia was going to win the televote, and that happened. But after Eurovision, obviously people weren't happy because there was this discussion about is the jury thing are a good thing or not. Maybe we should get rid of the jury again, or maybe we just should get like 65-25% with the televote being the real thing, or something like not 65 but yeah, 60 75. But yeah, it should be like something different, not 50-50, because the Norway production team, they said this week that the jury destroy our chances in Eurovision this year because they gave us so low points, and because of that Alessandra only got in fifth place. And this all discussion happened after Eurovision, where maybe we should get rid of the jury already because the favorite of the people didn't won. And for me, that's a bad take. Since Salvador Sobral was the last one that won both the jury, both the televotes. He won both, yeah.
Portugal, Portugal.
And after that, we had Toy that lost in a jury, like fourth place or something, and won the televote. Then Arcade didn't win in any of them, but it was the second place in both, so that was the
And
winner.
something very fun, because I saw the semifinal, and Elena won the semifinal in the public, and then Neta end up winning the final with the public, and Elena was second place, and Elena was expected to win the public.
Yes, that was a
Elena is
crazy year.
I'm a first name basis with her. It's
Elena Ferreira,
Fuego.
yeah, Elena Ferreira, something. I think that's it. Yeah, I know.
Elena Ferreira.
Ferreira. But then Zitibioni also again, like Toy, didn't won the jury, but won televote and won. Then last year, the televote let Ukraine win with a massive record of points. The jury only gave them like sixth place, maybe fourth place, I think. Again, the jury, the ones that the defector won, the factor that make the country win. So after these years where where the televote decided the winner, people weren't like saying things about it. Last year there was a lot of talk like maybe Ukraine was a bit of solidarity, maybe they didn't deserve to win, but people weren't like talking about the jury versus televote. But this year, Andres Souza,
Nobody was like, get rid of the televote,
yeah,
because they are biased.
and in this year, after the favorite of the people didn't won, people are making waves and moving mountains and all that just because it didn't meet
And
people.
that's
Yeah,
the conspiracy theories, because
yeah, the 50 years
I
of our.
don't buy. Yeah, I don't buy none of that, because first, Sweden wins the jury a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
Sweden, many times, very random, Sweden wins or get the first place, the second, third place. They are a jury favorite.
Yeah.
And Lorraine was the front runner. There's no fucking surprise. If there was a conspiracy, why is there since the beginning? Because people who were making bets, no one ever thought about the ABBA thing. That was so crazy.
I didn't remember Andres Souza. I've been doing
No,
this Eurovision thing, knowing the winners, and I didn't remember that thing. That was a thing. Also, the
that's random.
NATO.
That's random.
There's also the NATO argument because Sweden entered and wants to enter NATO. They give them the win, but Finland entered the NATO. Why did people didn't give to Finland the win? I know it just seems like people are crying. Cry me a river. That's what people seems like they're doing.
And we need to talk about, because I think the Televote was terrible this year. So why is the jury was not better? I thought the jury failed totally what they are supposed to do. But for me, the solution is not taking down them, is putting more people in the jury. Because right now you only have 5 people for country.
Yeah.
That's shit.
Yes. In the first Eurovisions, we had like 10 people.
Maybe, because 10 people would be the platonic ideal. If you want to have a very large mentality and the way they do the votes, because
Yes.
it was very close, and a lot of countries were giving 12 points to Israel, and Israel is not a jury song, so it was very crazy when the jury not rejects, because she did have a lot of points. If not them, she would end up with 5 points. But why is not Blanca Paloma finishing in the top 5 of the jury? Why? Because she is the singer. She is the one that really sings. She has a creative act. The juries were made to award these kind of things. They have the criteria. They have a criteria that they need to obey.
But
And
like
where's
every
the
year,
criteria for Israel? Why the fuck did Portugal give 12 points to Australia?
that's not a clearly math on all these. The jury sometimes
It's
make their
not. I know.
decisions, and the Televote make also bad decisions. We just go like, let's move on. Because
I agree.
if you vote, you vote, but it's a lot of people voting. Like you said, maybe put 10 people in the jury with different not backgrounds, because I think they should be all involved in music, but still like 60 people of the 60s, people of the 90s, people of the 2000s, and all that, a bit of different ages. And let's see, the Televote was a thing between I don't remember the correct year, but 2000 and something until 2009, and you saw what happened. If you see like between 2001 and 2006 is all songs that are completely Televote thing, that probably wouldn't won in these times. And they brought back the jury because not only that, the Televote is very biased. Usually the Nordic countries give to each other the points. This year, Finland didn't gave any points to Sweden, which could see like a bias thing to help their own country, because they knew that Sweden was going to do great. But like the Baltic countries give to each other. The Switzerland and Luxembourg and France give 12 points. I mean, not 12 points, but give a lot of points to Portugal. It's normal. That's why the jury came back to kind of make that a little more harmonious. There's sometimes there are songs that don't do well in the Televote because the Televote says that they are boring, like Italy this year or Estonia. These are songs that I really like, and I think they are really good. And if you are going to do only Televote, these kinds of songs are going to do bad in the old thing. And you maybe countries are like, why do we send ballads and slow songs if we are never going to win again or maybe be in the top 10? And the troll songs that we had in the early 2000s, the Baila Chiki Chiki, these kind of songs are coming back again in a full strength, and just a troll because they know that Televote is going to Croatia this year got like 5 points in a jury, and then the Televote give them a lot of points. This kind of songs is just the jury is there to not help them. And I know for me, like you said, if you are going to change anything, it's have more people in the juries, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep. And we gotta talk. What did you thought about the idea of not having juries in the first semifinals?
Yeah, look, I I understand why they did. Last year there was a voting scandal in Eurovision in the semifinals. A couple of countries in semifinal two, I think, they helped each other, but then the directors got that and they kind of did some math and determined and changed the votes for the countries. And I think this year they just didn't want that problem again, and so they just threw it out again. And it's like, maybe people want to watch more the competition, to improve the audience ratings a little bit higher, because you say, oh, the people have the vote, so maybe come back and vote. This year the semifinals had a little growth in the viewership, and the final didn't have that growth so much. So maybe that work. I don't know, but I don't like it, because like we said, if you only have the televotes in a semifinal, most of the countries are going to send troll songs or fun songs or more catchy songs, instead of, Estonia, that was eighth place in the grand final. They were like eighth place in the televote in the semifinal. They almost didn't qualify. That's why I don't love it, because I'm a jury guy. I'm kind of the jury guy. I like jury songs. That, Italy this year, I've been saying that from the first time, that I really like that song. Estonia was your favorite for a long time. It was also in my top 10. It's still in my top 10 of the whole thing. And I like
Yeah,
this type of songs with the televote. If you go to the Twitter during the competition, there are always people saying, "Oh, no more ballads, please, no more slow songs," and all that. And people,
but
that's why the jury exists.
that's why Salvador is such a strange and
Yeah.
wonderful situation, because you have someone who's a jury catnik, and then he end up being a public the public like it because they felt something, and
Yes.
that's
Sometimes.
why Salvador won.
Yeah.
But the thing about this silly jury versus televote, yeah,
Also remember that the televote, we already talk about this so much. They choose the producers in the broadcaster choose the running order because of the televote, because of the jury. They don't need to have the favorites in the middle, because they know the songs. They are going to vote without thinking about the middle ones or the last ones. But the televote, most of the times, they're not even watching during the first couple of songs, because they don't know the hour it is starting or something. And sometimes you can see, if you go to the votes this year, you can see like the first 6 countries didn't have that much
flop.
of voting, compared to someone of the middle and all that. I mean, there are also some examples of bad stuff in
I
the
mean, but
second order, but usually
that's
the
also a problem.
yeah.
That's also a problem because sometimes it becomes a bit not notorious what they are trying to do because they buried Lazara's chances.
They bury Lazarra. I mean, they had a problem because
Yeah,
they she was
they
she was
buried Spain.
I mean, the problem with Lazare, because there were a lot of favorites in the first half. That's random. The first versus second half, it's random.
Yeah,
And they have France, they have Spain, they have Sweden to put in the. They have Finland also in the first half. They had a lot of favorite countries. They couldn't just put them all together, because also that'd be a problem. And Spain, I think maybe Black Paloma was a bit, the also, because after that was Sweden, and maybe Televote just didn't remember Spain after that.
maybe the televote went like the nearest. They kind of forget. They kind
Yeah,
of forget.
yeah, but that's it. That I think we are already discuss a lot of the problems and the cons and
Yeah,
pros of
just want
Televote
to
and
say
jury.
that I don't trust this Martin guy. He seems a bit of a reactionary. Let's see what he's gonna do.